Subdean and Postgraduate Program Coordinator, School of Communication, Lagos State University, where he served as the congregational representative to the University Senate, member of the University Senate Curriculum Committee, Vice Chairman, University Information and Communication Technology Advisory Committee, and member, Lagos State University Research Group on Science and Technology. Dr. Olunifesi is happily married with children. Please, at this point, join me with a resounding round of applause as I invite to the podium for his lecture, Dr. Olunifesi Suraj.
So today's lecture is something that borders on our collective security. But before I start, I need to understand that the threat of influencer is much. Influencers, they have power. They influence power. Let me share one story with you before I start. During the Arab Spring, many of you don't know what happened in Arab Spring. But the truth is that was the time Obama was in power, and that was the time we had Hillary Clinton as the Secretary General. And so I don't know what they have agenda. And the agenda was to dethrone all manner of power in the Middle East and putting so-called democracy there. And how they want to do it? They hired a professor from Harvard University, and they asked him to write a book. And what's the title of that book? How to remove a dictator from dictatorship to democracy. Based on one simple philosophy, that is, dictatorship take their power from the masses. By removing the power from, by taking that power back, the dictator will lose his what? Will lose his power. And so that's the brief for that something. And they put that book where? On the social media. Hillary Clinton was one coordinating all those activities and was sending them to appropriate places. So when those things are coming, the media influencers, the so-called social media influencers, they are people on the what? On the spot ground who are able them to share the information and telling them what to do, being coordinated for the US. And ladies and gentlemen, the rest is history. Before you know what is happening, the whole Arab were for what we have seen today, Arab Spring. What was not happening, other things were happening. The leadership that have been there for years have been overturned by what? A book written, we're pieced together in social media, decentralized, and with the help of the presence of the so-called influencers organ, what they could not do for years was done to what? Through social media. That's the power. That's the power of the influence. So when you look at social media in itself, it's very bad. It's not bad. But people that use social media is the people we are talking about. And so I'll start my speech by saying fake news. Fake news, social media, misinformation, disinformation, all manner of ethics, where the social media, one of the things social media is that there is no responsibility in social media. The issue of responsibility is the problem we are going to face for a long time. And let me say something here. There's no way we can guard social media. It's not possible. And I will explain. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, before I go into that, I want to tell you some things about the age we are living in, which is the truth about social media. That is why social media has come to stay, and then the government cannot guide it. We cannot use laws to remove it. The only thing we can do is what I'm going to explain in this paper. Because we live in the age where we call post-truth era. A false story is just an extended truth. What do you mean by that? All animals. How many of you have read a book called about George Orwell, Animal Farm? In Animal Farm, the first put it, all animals are equal. That's what everybody agree on. Now the truth. But later, they came up with something and said what? Some are more equal than others. Now the truth? That is extended truth. Anywhere you see falsehood happening, there will be element of truth in it. It's not two things. You have what? You have falsehood. Fake news thrives on narrative, not on facts. And I want to tell you something. Journalists, they prefer story than facts. When they start writing their story, facts are distorted. You will be surprised that it is not facts they are speaking as you can talk about what the narrative, the story as what has changed. So people will not go for the facts, they go for the what? For the story. And the story and fact, they are the same thing. A generated or exaggerated truth is fake news. Fake is what? Attractive. Hitler said, truth is so sacred that it needs army, a battalion of falsehood to do what? To protect it. There's always truth somewhere. That is why if you are going to find out truth, you are going to do a lot of intellectual work to unravel all the decorations around the world, around the truth. Truth is so clear. I say, next slide. Falsehood is marketable. I tell you. If they say, man, what do you call it now? That a dog, and that man eats dog. I'm going to go and put that in right. It is not, man bites a dog. Well, it is a dog bites a man. It's not news. When you say man bites a dog, what happens? It's news. And journalists want to sell their papers. You must understand media, the economic aspect of the media. They will be silent on the issue of a dog bites a man.
Head southeast.
The one that's going to promote is what? Man bites a dog, because that is what people want to hear. And that is how these issues are. Fake news thrive in marketplace and over there. Truth is always a scarce commodity. That's the truth about it. That is why everybody said, buy the truth and do what? Sell it not. Fake news thrives on bias, perceptions, and mindsets. People want, you tell them to, that's what we call selective theory, mass-com, selective attention, selective perception. People only want to hear the only other side they want to hear. And so when they are reading, there's already a mindset. And that mindset is what journalists, since if you write them the writing, you won't say paper. Write them what they want to hear, you do what? You say your paper. So in many cases, truth is what? It's always the first casualty. When you have crisis, truth is a victim. That is why we say, Macbeth as well as if I may have read that book again, it says no more. We have once in the crisis, truth is mother, and the every other thing that will come around this is what? It's all confusion. I won't speak about answers. This lecture is not about answers, because answers will go and come. But there will be worse things that will come after answers. And that is why we should be prepared to deal with those issues. Rather than being myopic, I'm very guaranteed about answers. But the truth about it is that answers has come, and there's a lot of fictions and news runnings that it will take a long time to do what? To unravel the truth. I'm not saying that I do that, but next one, social media platform. So what I'm talking about today, you know, my lecture is about what? Social media influencers and fake news and the impact on national security. We have influencers, we have fake news. And what do? They have target groups, they have followers, they have interest groups, they have political groups, they have investors, they have consumers. Like I told you, you see, we have to understand the whole logic how we can deal with it. You see, the Indian Army is fighting intellectual warfare, you know that, psychological warfare, ideological war, in which narratives how you construct your narratives, and how you are able to pitch your story is what will give you the victory. Now, this influencer, fake news generally, should have prospered. But because some people make money out of it, some people enrich themselves out of it, and who are not behind it, that is so-called influencers. Before I go on, there are bad influencers, there are good influencers. Not all social media influencers are bad, but we have, in every life, there's always bad people in every occupation. But unfortunately, the bad ones are not that many. And that is why, because we cannot remove them, those who are causing trouble in this country. And let me tell you something. You see, some of us have traveled, some of us have been privileged to travel. And we have to, I remember our University of Leeds, when they have a conference, they asked us right there that if you want to stay back here, let's give you lecturing job. We can do it now. I don't look at you, where do you want to stay? Now we are talking, what for what? You get the point. And we have seen so many people. They said Nigeria is bad, so it's bad. I was in US forever. I saw people when they go together. This is a white state. People begging on the road, sleeping right on the road. I was in UK in Leeds. I saw them begging on the road. I was in Lithuania. So them begging on the road. I was in Finland. These are the island countries. So we were begging on the road. I was in Sweden. So nothing about it. So what I'm talking is everywhere. And when people now put media and use media to manipulate our mind, which they are doing, and tell you your country is bad, and show Makoko that this is Lagos, they also mean that this is my island, and disillusion in your people's mind to lose confidence in the country, so that they don't have any affiliation, any patriotism to the country. And they bring armies of disillusioned youths. Doesn't see anything good in their country and does not have any level of patriotism. So what we are having a country that has no generational support. And what you begin to have people who call themselves doesn't have anything to offer, and they mount up on the so-called social media and begin to destroy what people have done. You see, gentlemen, if you are not very close to the army, and they narrate their stories to you, you will beat it. And the next day, when someone told me that he was in Darfur, and he was not talking to his colleagues, and then from nowhere, this bullet came and tear the guys into pieces. In fact, the whole world was in his hand like this, the other guy like this. He said, sir, it could have been me. If you feel that kind of experience every day, and some people don't down to writing nonsense, writing, and they don't at the comfort of their offices. They don't understand what's happening in their form, in the Boko Haram, what's happening. I'm not saying the army are perfect. Okay, I've said it before. I'm somebody who is very forthright in my words. But there are some things that they are also human beings. They also have people who the civilians, who their father or their brother, and we should be sympathetic when it comes to issue of national security. Now, let me wait the next one, and so we see the bitter or better truth. Internet and social media. Let me tell you something. I know why fake news cannot go. I tell you, go and write it cannot go. But social media is designed to support fake news. You can quote me anywhere. Social media, by nature and design, promote fake news and enrich. Why? Filter bubble syndrome. Gentlemen, these days now, if you search your Google very well, if you have that history of searching, they will give you exactly what you have been searching before. That is bias. At least that has to conform your mind to bias. It means that you don't have alternative narratives. Somebody search the same thing, you have different words. So if you have false information on the internet, and you tell that you are so much interested in frivolities, so what that doesn't make sense. What they believe is what are those things. It's by design. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing about shadowing. You be tweeting. You think you are tweeting. At the back end, nobody is seeing what you are tweeting. Nobody will see it. That's shadowing. There's also, it's also been designed on the web. it's likely, and please, you see, some of us, when we talk, we know what I'm talking about. Go and write it down. The platform of social media platform that is able, that is supposed to enrich democracy, the way it is going, it will end up in the hand of the authoritarians. That has been done in COVID-19. Because we have people call themselves fact checkers. The fact checkers, where they checking their data from is, okay, in WHO for instance, you have a lot of 90s, and they are telling you that all other 90s are wrong. How do you know that is wrong? You see, the problem of this age, gentlemen, is not that how do we get the truth? It is how do we know what is truth? That's the problem. And so, singularity of media, of message, will promote authoritarianism. And that is where fact checkers will be what? Will be a danger. Now, like I said, if you go to the form of oppression, it has become why? When we go to the social media influencers, the blog influencers, I will tell you their logic, how they do things. They go there, they put up narratives. In fact, before I forget, once you see a news item that is not started by facts, it started by demonizing that personality, gentlemen, to propaganda. They say Saddam Hussein is a bad man. I was opportune to train some army officers here, colonels, about scientific communication, and that class was a wonderful class. We are telling that okay, Saddam Hussein was already painted as a bad man, and they say he has weapons of mass destruction. Who promoted that? CNN did that. They promoted it around the whole world. They give hints to it. They demonize the man. The next to do what is to hang him. No facts. Once you see that narrative, you don't need to go far. There's something fishy behind that story. Next, this is fiber. This is the internet. We call it web life. Now we call it World Wide Web. It's a web. And you see, gentlemen, I've said this several times, that academics and the military or the security forces are the people that are supposed to take a proper hand in the internet. Why? Internet was an invention of the military. You know that? And academics to share information. Academics and military started internet before it got to the hand of the politician, of the business people who saw opportunity to make money. And the people that want media of this, and they hijacked that platform. And who are supposed to pay is you and me, because we left it for them to run that platform without having a way. It's like a beauty, it's like a bride, a beautiful bride without no character. We are so passionate about the beauty, we didn't inquire about the character. That's the problem. And so we have a website structure. But the question is, who is behind this web? Gentlemen, the stories on the internet, on the social media platform, who is behind the narratives? Who is behind the construction of the message? Who is behind the story? What is the essence of the story? What is it meant to achieve? What is the common picture of that story? What is the design for it? Who is it meant for? What is it supposed to do? Have you ever asked that question? Some of you just share. You see something on your criminal paper, just share without thinking. What is this story meant for? What is it supposed to achieve? You understand? And so quickly enough, who is behind this story? Next slide. Who do you find there? Is that it? Okay. Before I give you who did the story, let me talk about the web. Why are we victim of the web? One, users misunderstanding of technical relationship between websites and the world and the internet. There are different pages. Most of us don't understand the technicality of what? Of internet. Users understanding the difference between trusted platform and untrustworthy publishers. There could be platforms that are trusted. Those behind that platform are the what? Unworthy publishers. It's not everything that you see are meant to believe. Next, you start mistaking You start mistaking assumption that all contention on the trusted website is truthful. Don't say that because they said it, so it must be true. In fact, between me and you, when COVID-19 started, our questioning World Bank, what do you call it? WHO. There was a seminar that UNESCO organized. It's a regional seminar. I was doing a speaker. I asked what you want. I will give my opposite to you. And I go straight to the WHO that the narrative is wrong. In that platform, the was there. All the UN, the UNDP, they were talking and said, look, I'm not going to say because we put this platform, I'll tell you what to hear. WHO to get it right. Because the narrative is very wrong. The way you talk about this COVID-19 was totally disaster. Right at the beginning. How can we trust Chinese? China that they are into holding information. And they are telling that they portray. This is Taiwan mentioning the WHO since last year, November, that this epidemic is already on. They shut them down. WHO shut them down. And they believe the so-called Chinese authoritarianism. And they say lockdown, Buddhism, this one, that one. And I say this is not democracy. And they say if you talk anything out of WHO, it's fake news. What does that mean fake news? Say, who tell me fake news? Who will tell me fake news? What do you know that what you are saying is fake or real? Who give the authority that this one is fake news? When you are seeing alternative narratives, and so I say, UNESCO, people are not doing what they're supposed to do. Because we're talking about our democracy, alternative narratives. The so-called Google and so does not have the right to be doing those things. No! Let us put everything, let's do. The time to tell us which is true. If you guys are wrong, Dr. Clarence was wrong and misled the whole world. How can you tell us that what this industry is that you guys are telling the truth? I don't want to be too personal about that, but the truth is that credibility of the fact checkers, I've already said that already. User ignorance of digital manipulation of the web. Gentlemen, the manipulation of information, influence of artificial intelligence, search engine optimization, computer algorithm. I'm talking about fake news. I don't see anything. I'm not seeing anything. I want to call deep fake and fake deep. That one is already on already. We will show Panehanka, God forbid, when he's romancing a woman. He didn't do it though. We will put up a woman. We will put him like that. They'll be romancing each other and we'll put it up. And it's very difficult for you to say it is fake. It's very hard. It's been done for Obama already. It's been done for Trump. Word for word, if you're talking as though it's all talking, it's based on artificial intelligence already. And see, and sometimes when I see this nation, you see, Nigeria, Africa needs to think. Robert Mugabe says, I say, think Africa, think. They just come you with technology, accept, sit down and think. Why are we accepting it? What makes us accepting it? They had, it will turn this one, those are the good side, all of the bad sides of AI. Don't talk about those ones. I've seen another article where I challenge the narratives of AI. AI will do more bad. I'm not talking about fake news, Abby. I'm not saying fake news here. Right now, sir, with your phone, you want to type. You give a word, a suggestion. That's AI already in place. If you go to the net, those some of you are journalists, you write some stories. AI is going to write the rest for you. So they know. And then the 5G will complicate it. Because 5G will make AI. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying 5G is wrong. But 5G will give more power to technology innovation you have never experienced in your life before. And it's when this fake deep very hard. See, gentlemen, I've not really seen. I'm talking about law, 8 law, social media bill, what do you call it? 8 speech bill. Those ones are lazy way of fighting fake news. People must be educated to know to get behind this. If not, how will there be a jumping ground for technology and they'll be manipulating you and using against each other and causing friction, and like Obama did against the Arab Spring, just cause more confusion, look for some differentiated youths on the social media influencer, set the country ablaze. all the information you see on Twitter, that this one is on the one that is tweeting well, there's one word I'm forgetting now, that's trending. Gentlemen, it's our authority. I can do it. I can start something here right now and put this message on the first list of Twitter. It's all algorithm. There's no way to do it. Let me tell you the truth. I was in Lithuania based on UNESCO invitation. I met the Twitter guy that covered the whole Africa. And we told him right there, look, this thing we are doing here, make it to be trending to the first. And within 1 hour, that was trending on the first page. What are you telling me? I'm telling him that those are the right information. Get it for it? And those things you are searching, the real truth on the web, they're not going to come forward at first. Is all this, they will know what they call search engine optimization, in which things will come up. The one they want you to see, by the time you go on the first page, second page, already, the real truth is seen in the fourth page. The one they want you to see, what you are seeing in the first and second page. Let us understand how this thing works. If you today guard everybody, lock everybody up in the prison because of this week, it will not solve the problem. It's intellectual work. Next slide. So, our marketing is found very well. Who is behind the narrative on the web? Gentlemen, we must know. If not, we will bring to the gallery. What's the character and the main objective of the spider behind the web? It's what they call the so-called trending. Please, don't just be moved by all the so-called tweeting. No! Go to the first person that started it. Who is that person? What does he want to achieve? What is the character behind it? You need to know. You need to know the kind of character that's behind it first. What is the nation? I told you about that one. Who controls the conversation? Someone who start it. Someone also control the conversation. Who does that? Who control the conversation? You need to know. What is the motive behind the narrative? Who get the benefit from the conversation? So whom the narrative meant for? How does the narrative spread out? I will not forget one thing. At the time that Nigeria was going to walk up and we lost to Egypt, and then I was so bitter about the sport fan, I was so bitter. Some criminal, what did he? They want to make fast money. This is how it happened. Once you have traffic or you're something, automatically advert will come up here. That is why one of my seminar again, I accused government. I think it's in Sweden. I said, look, you are the one promoting, no, it's in Germany. You are the one promoting fake news in a very high forum. I said, why? I said, you put in algorithm on the net, and you have told, and you have adverts, and you have told the adverts that anywhere you see high traffic, automatically the advert will just come there. People like politics. When they say Boko Haram is trending, Boko Haram has killed 20 army. You know it's a big news. When the army kill 100 Boko Haram, that doesn't matter. It's normal. So when I was trending on the something, what happened to it? People will go there automatically. Somebody is making money from the clickbait. And so that day, somebody wrote something. He said, Nigeria, the FIFA has suspended Egypt for that they tested 2 of them negative. That they were negative for using drug. So they have been qualified. I rushed there. I thought I count there, I already seen 1 million people go to that side. Gentlemen, it was a false statement. Falsehood. I feel like having a gun and shoot that guy right there. To see how bitter I was. The guy is making money. Has made money already. Using what? Using me and you to go and be looking at what and they put advert there. By the time they said President Buhari as a girlfriend, that one woman, after many years, that person didn't talk when they were young. When they are now old now, they say, and no such thing as that. So a lot of people were here. And when they look at it, they saw that it was what? Falsehood. Those who don't use their identity. In the net, it allows anonymous. Does that make sense? So you can use, I'll tell you, socket pooping. You can use computer to do something without you being identified. And what happened to there was all fake. Somebody has made money. I'm masking the masked man. See, social media influencers. Who are they? These are they. They always cover at the background. They push out the narratives. Nobody knows that Hillary Clinton was the one behind the offspring. No, some of us know. Yes, and the whole Allah was going where? And Libya today, Gaddafi is not good. Libya was better off when Gaddafi was around than when he's no longer there. Go and see what Libya has done to. How many get it? Anybody? The mass man. These people, you need to do a lot of intellectual work. You know what? To unravel this mass man. And who are they? The politicians. Who are they? Celebrities. Who are they? The prominent actors. Who are they? The entertainers, the musicians, the sport icons, prominent public figures, digital activists. Who are they? The so-called fact checkers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that all the fact checkers they are wrong. But I'm telling you that you need to be very careful. Because if you start believing, go and fact check it. What fact checker said is true. Gentlemen, when you begin to sell your future to them, you will not know because you are trusting a platform, but on what you want, publisher on that platform. And so, now fact checkers. And for me, singularity of message should be avoided. No matter what a fact checker said, I have to do my own work, search by myself. I can be that person. But once you start being fact checker, and then they're going to send dummy to you, you will not know. Fact chasers. These fact chasers, they are the worst. Who are they? They are the people that want to make, they want to have the nature of their hobbies. Youths don't have a job to do. The so-called youth who will spend all their time, they want to make money, they want to have time, and then when they see somebody who has a bit of influence in society, they are that person, they hide, and they think they can say he has an affair with some people, and then they want to train, and they leave behind. No, when it comes to that, just talk nonsense. What's happening? These people, they can do anything to run anybody want reputations. Gentlemen, influence is power. Hello? Influence is what? Is power. The social media influencers don't ever underestimate them. Look at that girl that talks funny things. What are they doing now? Emmanuela. You know how many millions for that girl? Emily. Look at the other person. I will do this together. What are they doing? Go to Nigeria. How does that start? I'm not going to but you see that it's not one manner of things that they play, fashion, this one, that one, things that people like to do. And then from there was, I want you to start something. Mumu don't do. Our man, what is his name again now? Tell me what. When he starts, I will all men of them follow him. Mumu don't do. These are what influencers, gentlemen. These are people will naturally follow because the entertainers, they are sport icons, they like them. And like I told you, that for people that they are not all those people, but they are class chasers. They are on the Twitter. They promote something that don't make sense. They look for gossips. They attack personality, run down reputations. They do what? To make money.